Aetherdrift was officially revealed on the weekly MTG stream, and boy was it hot. We know that the Gear Up Grand Prix takes place across 3 different MTG planes, and we're finally getting some more big pieces of info on how it's going to work. The new Omen Paths are allowing racers to travel all over the multiverse to compete for the Aether Spark. The show starts off quickly with the Average Card Raceway with a new speed mechanic. Once on your turn when an opponent loses life, increase speed. Max speed is 4, then when you reach max speed you can activate the Raceway's ability to discard and draw a card. The next stop on the race is Amonkhet, seen here on Amonkhet Raceway. It also employs the speed mechanic, and when it reaches max speed, you can grant a creature haste. The third plane involved in the race is Muraganda, and its raceway allows you to tap for 2 colorless once it reaches max speed. Does this imply that Muraganda is going to have Eldrazi issues if it's going for extra colorless for colorless ramp? This is the first time the story is actually going to Muraganda. We've had people from there before, but we've never actually been on that plane, so it'll be interesting to find out some new lore. Obviously, one of the main goals of the set is the race. That means there are going to be a ton of new vehicles to mess around with, including this vehicle token. Leading the race as host or MC is Vinwixt, verbose host. He also has the speed mechanic and removes maximum hand size. He also allows you to draw 2 cards whenever you would draw 1 when you're at max speed. There's also going to be a token card to track speed, which shows the speed isn't going to be specific to one of your cards. It can be a combination of them, and once you reach max speed, cards you play with the mechanic will already be able to activate their abilities. The main attraction of the race is the Aether Spark, which will be a legendary artifact planeswalker equipment, and that's a lot of types. It's going to help you draw cards or ramp, and even without its +1 ability, it'll be able to gain counters quickly if you have a creature in play. It's also safe from attack when it's equipped, but not safe from direct removal. They do state that this is in fact a Planeswalker Spark. It had been speculated before that it could reignite a spark or was some sort of magic, but the stream flat out says it's its own spark. Now the show converts into introducing each of the 10 race teams. The Guidelight Voyagers are machines from an unknown plane. There's actually a lot of teams from unknown planes, so we have a lot of places to go visit after this. Seems like they're all going to be artifacts controlled by a hive mind known as the Mendicant Core. They also have their own vehicle, the Guidelight Pathmaker. The core will let you copy artifacts as you play them for 1 mana, and the Pathmaker will let you tutor up an artifact, and if it's value 2 or less, put it directly on the battlefield. Sounds like you can tutor up its boss. They also show off the borderless revved up treatment here. 40 cards in the set will have this style, including these Guidelight cards. Winter has escaped Duskmourn and is here at the race with Speed Demons. He's also dead. I didn't know he died, but yeah, he's dead. His new card will allow him to use the Exhaust ability to exile artifacts from grave to give other non-artifact creatures -X/-X until end of turn. He also grants all your artifacts ward pay 2 life. Winter is driving around in the last ride, shown here in both normal and borderless versions. This is a beefy vehicle that you'll need to play into typical black strategies to get your life total down low enough to strike with it. This card is also available in the first place foil version as a box topper for Aetherdrift. They'll be like the revved up cards but with a different foiling. Lute is back, and he also has Exhaust. He's working with Winter during the race, but I'm not sure if working is the right word since Lute seems to get kidnapped and work with whomever has him currently, so I don't know, it's weird. Next up is the leftover artwork from the Fallout set, the End Riders, headed up by Farfortuned End Boss. Farfortune helps trigger start your engines by pinging for 1 whenever you attack, eventually doing an extra 1 at max speed. There's a Goblin team as well, not sure how many will be left at the end of the race though. Redshift Rocketeer Chief who can tap for mana and then exhaust for 12 and just dump your hand onto the battlefield. That seems like it's going to be fun, and I'm probably going to build a new Goblin deck around this guy. I'm also all about this Rocketeer Boost Buggy, which grows itself and makes treasures when it attacks. They also have the Boom Mobile, ramping when it enters, and has an exhaust ability to do direct damage. Alakria Beast Riders are made up of riders from a new and unknown plane. The Omen Paths are really opening up access to the entire multiverse. Their leader is Caradora, who lets you tutor up a vehicle card on enter and doubles counters on vehicle cards. There's also a new borderless version of Caradona, separate from the revved up cards. This creature, Lagoran Soul of Alakria, is the engine to put counters on mounts and other vehicles to pair with Caradora. We also get to see the Bulwark Ox to introduce the other borderless card style, Rude Rider, with a new font and mana symbol art. Zahur Glorious Pass is the leader of a team from Amonkhet. His ability lets you feed creatures to him to surveil, and eventually at max speed this will create token zombies as well. Bossry is also on this team to make token cats, and so enjoy your cat zombie army. They're riding in the Cryptcaller's chariot, pulled by some big kitties. It also helps make zombie tokens and is pretty beefy for crew 2. The Speed Brute is revealed with Atchik Emerald Radian. They announced that all their vehicles are grown and not built, That chick is also running one last race before she gets to become a vehicle herself, like it's some sort of reward. Also, nobody mentions who they're riding in now, like this person just doesn't exist anymore. They're riding, though, in the Thunderous Velocipede, no name required, which helps make other vehicles become larger with counters on ETB. This group is also from an unknown plane. Seed of Varma is leading the Aether Rangers from Avishkar. They'll be racing in the Aether Hive, which can make Thopters for using exhaust abilities. Next up is the new Sharkman, Captain Howler's Sea Scourge. They have the boosted sloop to try to win the race. Boosted sloop! I just like saying it. This is just ooh. I like that noise. The Cloudspire team is headed up by Chandra and a new Planeswalker card. She can pump out vehicle tokens or turn those tokens into card draw, eventually resulting in an ult that makes artifacts do damage to any target on ETB. Kolodin is also on his team. Is it Colin or Kalo? Or he's just Colin Man now. He grants mounts and vehicles haste and auto saddles and auto mounts cards on ETB as well. The Cloudspire Sky Cycle is a flying vehicle that also pumps up other vehicles and creatures when it enters. There will be two commander decks for this set, the first being Eternal Might in the Esper colors centered around Amonkhet. The second is Living Energy in green, blue, and red and based around Avishkar. Pre-release is already weeks away on February 7th, and the set will make its debut on MTG Arena February 11th. There will also be special guest cards like Lord of the Undead, seen here, and created by the Secret Lair team. And that was a great reveal show. Thanks for watching, everyone, and take care.